Welcome back, OPL fans, to the OPL Show, our very first installment. And for this monumental occasion, I am joined with Julian Pastry-Time Car, as well as Zach Rusty Pie. After an interesting day of League of Legends, how are you gentlemen doing?
Not bad. Getting to the OPL Show, very excited to, start recapping what's happened this week.
I'm somewhat sad that the split's over because it was such a fun regular season. We had so many fun moments, but playoffs are around the corner. Have to be excited about that.
And I guess to set this in, let's actually check out how we ended the split with the standings. It was, of course, Legacy 9-1. What a dominant split out of the team that moved into a gaming house at the start of the year. Chiefs are 7-3 and your OPL Legends, while Sin and Direwolves will round out 3 and 4, while Sin is currently higher seed. Of course, it will be Trident and Infernum moving into that promotion relegation tournament. Trident do get to pick their opponents. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about off the back end of that season? To me, it is the position of Legacy and how dominant they were.
Absolutely. Legacy coming into this split, they've just moved into the gaming house. I think it's safe to say that we wanted them to perform. They wanted to perform. They had expectations and they met them. And Helion's as well. They've achieved the perfect mediocrity. They don't actually get relegated as the other gaming house team. And we might actually have consistency.
Not his words, by the way, but I have to agree. I think for me, I was surprised that Avant and Hellions couldn't push into playoffs. Like, I think I expected Direwolves to be there, and they are now sitting in the 4th spot. But Sin had such a strong late surge. I think Hellions and Avant had different expectations for themselves. So like 1 and 2 were maybe sort of set for me, but definitely not 3 and 4. And it's surprising to see the teams that pushed in, but hey, more power to them. Sim played awesome throughout most of the middle half of the split.
And I want to actually get you surprised with the split because, it was a very different split, much more competitive, I think, than a lot of people thought at the start of the season. What was it to you that really jumped out as a surprise?
I think personally, to me, it was actually Trident performing well by the end of this split. I had a lot of expectations for this team coming into this, with Claire actually being the one to play, and losing him to me was like the final nail in the coffin for Trident, but they actually played really well by the end of it.
Damn it, I was going to say Trident
Nailed
too.
Got him.
Because I think I agree. It's funny to see a team that, like, as soon as like no pressure was on, they just played so much different, right?
Wow.
And you can tell where the strength of this team is, but like they have so many strong players. I think Pac-Man was one of my biggest surprises. He was good, and then just got really good all of a sudden.
Pac-Man.
Yeah, mine was actually how personable the Oceanic Pros became by the end of the split. It was hard to draw out some of that personality, but by the end of it, we got Cookie, we got Pac-Man, got all these great personalities, enjoying the game, bantering with each other, going with each other on Twitter. It was fantastic to watch. However, guys, we actually have some awards to give out tonight, and the first award we're going to give out is a Rivalry Award, so here's Atlas.
Thank you very much, Spawn. I'm very excited to give this one out, of course, on the back of what you were saying about banter, making sure that you are staying, active on social media there as well. But this award goes to a man that is not afraid to speak his mind. Of course, often able to do so at many an occasion, had words to a lot of our pros actually on air on the show. I am, of course, talking about Bryce Jim Pauly of the Chiefs. This guy had words towards regret, I believe, that were definitely very direct, but Kuden was the one that definitely stood out, as he didn't quite like that Soraka. Back to you, Jake.
Woo! I loved it, man. Ejim's just firing shots, having fun all season long. Man, Ejim was just such a character. I think that gif and that speech about Kuden will go down in history, but honesty is one of Ejim's biggest strengths. Yeah. He was just honest all season and funny to boot.
The best way to describe it, Bruce Poole, as I believe is affectionately referred to by his team, he is an honest and knows how it is guy. So he says it how it is every time. He has the theory that all the champions are the same, the players are the only thing that's different, and he looks at the players and reacts to the players.
And the thing that surprised me the most about Ejim, maybe surprised other people, I knew him quite well, was how he's willing to eat his words. If he's wrong and he goes over the line, as he called Kuden out, Kuden more than showed up, and he was like, you know what, this guy's actually a pretty good player.
McGregor.
Another thing we introduced this year was actually the OPL Legend title. It started with the Chiefs because they were the team that won 2015, but as we actually take a look at who was able to retain it, it was actually the Direwolves taking them off them in week number 2. Of course, Legacy was then able to pick it up over the Direwolves and hold that until their clash against the Chiefs in week number 9. Chiefs finally retaining it and will end out the split in pretty fitting form as the OPL Legends. But I think the biggest thing there is that Legacy held that for 6 weeks. What a run for a team, and honestly, it was kind of romantic how it went across these teams.
Almost. And yeah, we came into the first week, we're like, oh no, what a disaster. The Chiefs have got it. They're going to be holding on to this all split, but they did lose it in the first week. And to me, Legacy having it, being in the gaming house is massive because they get an extra bit of match payment. They can buy more juice, stock the fridge up. Very happy.
Chef Carbon can make a couple more gourmet meals.
Yeah, I think just like it's interesting that we had kind of a race for the belt where like the teams are like going back and forth. It is fitting that moving into playoffs, the Chiefs have it still, but have to be impressed by Legacy's consistency through the regular season, and that shows in their longest reign for the title.
Yeah, it certainly does. As we actually check in for another award, it is going to be the most improved player in the OPL. So here's Atlas to award that.
Thank you very much, Spawn. And the most improved player to go to one that has most definitely stepped up both on and off the Rift. This is a man that was actually considering retirement last year and has decided instead that he is going to bring his team to victory. I'm, of course, talking about none other than Carbon from Legacy. This man, the leader of the team. And look, we've questioned his play on the Rift before, but not this season. This man has been above and beyond. Back to you, Spawn.
I actually want to talk about Carbon's leadership quality because I think that his on the Rift performance has been fantastic. But what has actually defined it for me is taking Regret, Tally, and King into a gaming house. I mean, Aaron Choo-Choo's, he's quite mature, but that's three very young players, and he has molded them into like a fist. Yeah. Legacy is now a dominant force once again within the OPL, and the leadership and real-life personality of Carbon, to me, is what is responsible for that.
Yeah, I think you can even take this historically. The fact that Carbon is actually the leader of the team almost didn't exist after autumn in 2014 when he was ready to leave because he just got his university degree. But the passion was reignited. Everyone feels his passion as well, and Carbon just resonates so well. Literally the chef of the team.
Yeah, I love that. Like, it's hard to give him compliments for a lot of other stuff that maybe other people don't know as well. But like, he's like the PT, the chef, the dad. Like, he's organizing the house. Like,
Carbon.
He's done. Yeah, Big Papa Carbon doing a lot of work there for the team. But for me, it's just like you might think it's weird to give a play like Carbon most improved, but going from his 2015, which was super up and down for Legacy, to such a dominant 2016, and he's clearly the element that drives a lot of that from Legacy. Like, it's a no-brainer when you think about it. Carbon, he's certainly most improved.
Yeah. What a guy. He's absolutely fantastic. However, guys, we also had some pretty funny moments during the first split of the OPL of 2016. We've put some of them together in a short clip. Let's check it out.
Hello, OPL fans, and welcome to week number 9, day number 1. My name is Jake, definitely not Spawn Tiberi. Joining me on the desk this evening is Matthew Fish Stewart and Indiana Frost Aguirre Black. It's great to be here for our last week. How are you all feeling?
Thank you very much, Spawn, and I am, of course, Rusty. This is Spawn 2.0.
Hello, everyone. I am actually Jake Spawn Tiberian. Joining me on the desk tonight is Matthew Fish Stewart and Max Atlas Anderson for our 2 best of 3s. Gentlemen, did you miss me?
Yeah, well, not really. There was like 6 of you. Thank you very much, Spawn, and we're excited to invite you here to the caster desk. I'm, of course, Atlas. This is Rusty, and we're ready to get this game underway.
Production room is a separate room. It used to be the same room. I used to be able to reach out and touch right Benji, my producer, or throw pens at him when I needed to. Now we're in separate rooms, and we can only hear him over our magical headsets. He said, thank goodness.
Yeah, we're having a bodacious, big-time good time, Spawn. Ready to get into some righteous OPL.
Cowabunga, dude.
What he did say is he was the best Soraka in Oceania, no doubt. So I don't really think anyone's contesting that. No one plays Soraka, so
no.
Power to you, Kuden.
Kassadin, Graves, Ezreal, Tahnkench, Malphite, so many bans! Oh man, it's ridiculous.
But after the performance last night, I think Direwolf's going to pick this one up 2-0.
Yeah, so after they got beaten in 26 minutes, Direwolf 2-0. I agree with you, Fish. Right, how are you after what was a pretty tough loss yesterday? Very good game 2 out of yourself.
Let's not talk about that.
In case you're wondering why Spawn was laughing as he tried to send it to us, he was watching Prosker and dance much more enthusiastically than that, of course, Trident. They did, yes, Pastry was dancing to Mr. Producer in my ear. Sorry for not getting it all right. I forgot what my point was now.
We're talking about Trident.
Pastry, how do you watch OPL normally?
Me? I sit behind you and comment on the game and hope that you don't hurt me because I'm telling you just such awful things about what's happening.
Yeah, very, very loudly was the response I was expecting there. And it says, watching the OPL with my Tibbers and my Treasured Signs Chief poster, hashtag I am OPL. Hey, that's you.
Yeah.
Swipey, you at least still have one fan in the OPL after dropping your game against the Direwolves.
I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm sorry.
I'd just like to remind everyone, the Magic 8-Ball is as accurate as Fish right now, so take that as what you will.
What do you think, Fish? You're on equal footing, so if the 8-Ball wins this one, I just want to let him know, at least in my book, he's ahead of you. So 5 more now, but please don't stress. If your question isn't on, quit. keep tweeting. My goodness, I will learn English.
Wow.
Keep tweeting because we'll do some more tomorrow as the whole room erupts in laughter.
I'm going to say Dai will still win 2-1.
Well, there you go, guys. We've got a split desk all of a sudden. The 8-ball causing turmoil everywhere. We said they kind of looked like headless chicks last week. This time around, a lot more decisive calls on their team fight.
Yeah, really good looking. Hard to say if it's just Yuzuki really doing that.
And Pacer Time and Spawn just saying they look like really good headless chicks. I like it. I like it a lot.
No comment.
Magic 8 Ball, is my prediction going to be correct? Not a chance. All right, so Trident 2-0.
Okay, Magic 8-ball, what are your thoughts on this one? Will Legacy win? Indications say yes, so he stooched him, ladies and gentlemen. The 8-ball's done it again. I was on the analyst desk with Yamato Cannon during Worlds, and I was like, you're allowed to, like, swear occasionally, like, don't make too much of a habit out of it, but if the occasional R slips through, no one's gonna like really question it. And Dash turns around during that segment, I'm not on there, and is like, Yamato, how did Bangkok Titans beat SKT? And Yamato deadpans down the camera and just goes, they have to pull off some crazy ass shit. And then I just hear production like, who told him he was allowed to do that game? But
Gangplank!
have to ask straight off the bat, the first loss in a split for the Chiefs against Direwolves last week. How you feeling, buddy? You all right?
Surprisingly, I'm actually okay. Like,
any knee-jerk reactions off the back end of that one?
Actually, we've decided to do a big hand this week, so I wouldn't say it's an emergency reaction, but yeah, we've definitely got something. So
Heard it here first, guys. Emergency boost camp out of the Chiefs after their loss against Direwolves.
Well, my hairstyle was so good that Atlas stole it.
I worry for them. I didn't mean to get that close, sorry.
Yeah. I'm frightened of you
Hang
now,
on.
man.
I worry for them. I worry for
That's
Avant
better.
right now.
Thank you.
I actually hate my beard in so many of those clips.
Now I'm sad Sin won because you're not going to bring it back.
Man.
No beard, thank goodness, Rusty.
I just missed the puppets. They were such good casters.
I feel like every time. They were you! Of course they were good.
That was my right hand. It's a pretty good caster.
However, guys, we do actually have an award for the social media king of the split. So many funny moments from social media. So we're going to give it straight over to Atlas to let us know who that was.
Thank you very much, Spawn. It's really difficult to come back after that particular segment, but we do have an award to give out, and this is a very important one. Of course, the man, the myth, the maverick himself, the man who's able to turn hearts, especially when his team is feeling down in the dumps. I am, of course, talking about Hellion's own Cookie, their jungler. Here are some excerpts from his wonderful Twitter that you most definitely should be following. One of them being, the laser will penetrate Emperor's chest, of course, referring to Lux's laser. Bomb, you can make it. Spark the game. Another one, GG, well played. I am literally crumbled. I gonna bake myself. I will be back with better form. I mean, this is the most no-brainer award that we've ever had to give out. Back to you, Spawn.
We voted on these awards, and this was, like, there are some honorable mentions for the other ones. This was a landslide.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is a better Twitter account in Oceania.
My favorite thing is that,
Oh,
like,
man.
obviously English is his second language, right?
Yeah.
So, like, he's, like, learned a decent amount of English, and his English is definitely improving to sort of build this persona. But his ID came from his Korean name, which kind of sounds like Cookie, which I'm assuming is where he got it from. So he's just turned it, it's just wonderful.
Yeah, Cookie and Bomb both did the exact
Yeah.
same thing. So a phonetically similar
Yeah,
name
yeah.
to their actual names in English,
Which
is
is
how
really
they did
cool.
it. But Cookie definitely having a fascinated attraction with lasers and emperors. Very interesting Twitter man.
If you don't follow him on Twitter, do yourself a favor and get on it because it's just awesome.
Yeah, and not only have we had some great tweets, some good, funny moments, but we've also had some rather impressive moments. So I'm going to throw this one over to Rusty to ask what your moment of the split was.
Yeah, my favorite moment of the split actually did come from Sin Gaming that we recently saw. And to me, this particular play captures Sin in a nutshell and their mid laner Rymeister. So check it out. See him.
Oh my
full
goodness,
potential.
Rymeister. Oh, tags the wrong person. Now he's caught out 1v2. Ulti's down.
Is
Stark
he
going to move
caught?
in for it. Rymeister though, maybe he's going to turn it around. The damage is massive. Takes out Stark, and there's the GP ulti. Rymeister will make quick work and get himself a double kill. I love that by the end of that play, like, you just know that Rymeister already knows he's got the double. Like, he had that calculated perfectly. Chippy's helps out a little bit with the GP ulti, but that was the start of Sin really ramping it up.
Yeah, that was actually probably the big moment. To me personally, I think that the second it happened, the second it was a Malphite support, I believe, to be fair, so don't take it
Oh, that's
through everything. But the second he went in, it was like, Rymeister can actually kill this, and They said Ramaster was caught. I was like, really? Doesn't look like it.
And he was able to turn it around. Pastry, want to grab your moment of the split? Where are we looking, buddy?
I've actually had a lot of fun watching the Dials play this particular season. They've been very aggressive despite how up and down they've been. I think individually you can look to a lot of talent, but they're always best when they play together. For me, this team fight is a botched jungle invade that they somehow turn around. Yeah. Watch where Fandix puts himself to get out of the range of Cassio ulti. This is just Dials being Dials.
So scaling probably fine here for Dials as well.
Yeah, no, definitely is still fine. And they even have a lot of mixed damage between the Corki and the Zac. So they can't stack armor and feel content here on Sin. And really, we're just going to look at a lot of carry-style champions just butt heads. And frontlines just try their best to keep them away.
Oh, there's the elastic slingshot getting charged. Jubes is going to get knocked up. W is there from Rogue. Sybil right in amongst it. There's the Let's Bounce. As Cuden just throws out a pulverize. Juice is going to get away to the Krugs, and Fantix can't find his way in. The ultimate was charged, and in comes Rhymaster. We'll see whether he can get anything. That GP ult is fantastic with the cannon barrage. Oh, flash ultimate from Rhymaster, but he may actually be in trouble, as Sybil may actually get dropped down to his passive here. Some barrels are down, but Sybil, he's going to get tagged by the last one. Passive's there. Direwolves will see whether they can get some sort of re-engage.
Got the flank.
In with the flank. Rymeister gets destroyed immediately. Massive knock-up from the Fates call from Raze, as now there's such low health bars on Sin's side, and Raze is just playing clean-up. Pierce comes through. He may have actually overextended here, as Juice is going to die in the backline. Exhaust down onto Cardred. Double kill comes in, and the Direwolves are all over Sin in this early game.
7-1 right now.
Who else were Dials, man? Literally start a jungle invade for no reason, end up with an ace under a tower.
Both teams are like a roller coaster. That was like the fall of Sin and the rise of Direwolves randomly as well.
Yeah, and to me, like, that just capitulates like both teams. Like, Sin, they're going to respond to everything. Direwolves are just going to ride their luck, and one team's going to come out ahead. In that one, it was Direwolves. However, my moment of the split, which is coming up next, is about a team that had pretty little clues at the start. In fact, No Swiffer, No Clue was fondly, I guess, coined for the team. However, with the return of their captain, their all-star, and their shot caller, Chiefs were able to turn their season around. This is my moment of the split, a well-executed turret dive.
A very inefficient trade from Chiefs unless they're able to translate it into mid.
Oh, looking for it, but Tutu's not going to eat the arrow. Depth charge going to land in. Egypt's going to look for the dive, but Tally, just so much disengages. Egypt's going to make it re again. Tutu's now back into the egg form, but Tally's going to move them out of the way. Regret makes his way down to try and disengage for his side. Chu's a little low, he's eating rockets, but the egg will live.
You forget that he has an egg sometimes. Stuck under the turret. Ejim's target selection onto the Alistar.
Oh, Chu's in trouble, does die to Spooks. They're going to try and re-engage with the Chiefs. Able to pick up kills under the turret. Regret now going to get moved back in by Ejim. Spooks gets a double for himself. It's just such a different team.
It's the confidence they get from it, right? Like, and Swipe has openly come out and said this. Like, he doesn't feel comfortable playing with someone that isn't Swiffer because he's just that much of a leader.
Yeah, it's not even about No Swiffer, No Clue, right? It's about the fact that they've got Swiffer in the team. Spooks is happy. Swipe is happy. The team just gels together better.
So those are our moments of the split. Actually, hold on a second. I've just been told that if you're a producer, even though you have absolutely nothing to do with the on-air show, you get to have a moment too. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you Riot Benji's moment of the split.
Which is very unlikely. Don't doubt our pro players. Of course, we're looking at boots of...
Oh, no. If I say stupid things, we just get Jace Cam that comes back.
Now a tweet as well.
Yeah, tweet as well. Jace TV, all Jace, all the time. Thank you very much, Lemon Garb. We are dealing with it as well. We'll get back to you.
This is double
when
Jace.
This is so weird. So much Jace. So much Jace. So little time. Yeah, package is being picked up here by Cardred as they're sieging out here in the middle.
You know what? It was definitely a moment that happened during the split. Whether it was a good or bad moment, I'm going to let the masses decide. I definitely know where my vote's going.
I just love the defeat in Atlas's voice where it's like, yep, we're at this again.
I audibly heard myself tilt during the broadcast. Like, the second I saw the count, I was like, oh, God.
My favorite is like the tweet comes into my Jace. He's like, yep, thank you very much. We're dealing with it too.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, we know it's awful.
It was inevitable. We had absolutely no control, but something that we did have control over was giving out another award for the Rookie of the Split. So here's Atlas to present that.
Thank you very much, Spawn. And of course, there were a lot of rookies that started. This was an award that was difficult to give out because there were a lot of players that were performing incredibly well. But one stood out above the rest, especially demonstrating it very recently against a particular game against the Hellions. I am, of course, talking about Raze, the AD carry himself of the Direwolves. And this guy managing to step onto a team with the likes of Fantix, massive I guess, veteran of the scene, and being able to do equal damage in a lot of these games shows exactly how aggressive this man is, and what an addition to the OPL. Back to you, Spawn.
I'm actually going to let Rusty pick this one up because he called it at the start of the season, I think. And Rays, what a star he's become.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen him play in the Challenger Series beforehand, to be fair. But looking at Rays, it's almost like King never left the team. And I think that's the best way to describe this, right? It's like the body stayed, but the spirit swapped. King moving to Legacy has slowed down a little bit. Rays is just all aggressive all the time. My favorite moment, dashes over a wall, flashes back over immediately because he made a mistake and just throws out a culling.
Yeah, no, I mean, knows what he wants to be doing. But I think back to his early games, and I'm just like, Valkyring forward on Corki, like 500 CS, something ridiculous. Like, it really is the spirit of King and Body, but he's become his own player as well. Yeah, an absolute superstar. Yeah. What a rookie season.
He also killed God. Like, he took down Radier, was able to 1v1 the Chiefs 80 carry. What more can you want out of the rookie? Very well done to Rays. As we actually take a look ahead, guys, let's check out the brackets of what the finals now look like after a long split. It will be Legacy taking on Direwolves in 1 versus 4, and what will be an uphill battle, I think it is now fair to say, for the Direwolves, and Chiefs versus Sin Gaming in what is a rematch of tonight. Chiefs are currently owning that head-to-head. I guess they didn't drop one of the games as Sin did, but those are 2 games that Direwolves are erratic. Like, they're not even volatile. They either play brilliantly or poorly.
Yeah.
Sin Chiefs, on the other hand, I feel like could be a very smart, macro-oriented game of League of Legends.
Yeah, I think looking at Direwolves' Legacy, there is no doubt in my mind that Legacy are coming into this game absolute favorites unless Direwolves manage to pull out that God mode they randomly do have. Fantix gets his 500 CS gangplank. It just goes nuts. I think there's a real chance that Direwolves can upset. The same thing goes for the Sin Chiefs game, but we have our favorites in these semis.
I think just in general, like, the fact that the playoffs are so close after the regular season is finished means that, like, your preparation, how you play and prepare as a team is important.
Yeah.
The Direwolves, I'm not saying they don't prepare, but they clearly play in a very erratic manner. You said that this, like, I don't know if they can get it all together, but if there is a team that's going to go crazy on LAN, I think it is a team like Dials. But to be honest, all these teams are awesome LAN teams. They've got the experience before. It's nice that Legacy and Chiefs on the other side of the bracket from each other, but every matchup should be absolutely insane.
Yeah, it certainly looks like there's going to be another date with Destinies. We actually just pull up the schedule for you guys to be able to check out. Of course, it will be next week. Tuesday will be Legacy versus Direwolves. That is March 29th. Whilst Chiefs versus Sin will be Wednesday night. They are both best of 5 games, so make sure you tune in for those. Going to be absolutely massive. And, you know, as we said, it's very hard to pick a winner. Teams at the start of the year were saying 1, 2, 3 irrelevant. I think there is definitely a 4th place now in the OPL, maybe even a 5th with Avant stepping up their game, and they should be fantastic. However, guys, we're talking about teams too much. Everyone knows that League of Legends, whilst you might win or lose as a team, you play for the damage graph and the individual glory. And there is one award that we get to celebrate that with. It is the MVP, the most valuable player, and Atlas is going to award it.
Thank you very much, Spawn. Of course, the award that goes to all of you solo queue players out there, understanding it's the rest of your team letting you down as opposed to you not necessarily reaching your full potential. This is the man that we believe has stepped up on the whole over this entire split and really performed for their team. And look, this particular one has done it after a role swap at the same time. Also, statistically regarded as one of the best laners in the OPL at the moment. In fact, has the highest average CS at 20 minutes out of any other player in the entire league. I am talking about Tally, the man moving from AD carry to top lane for Legacy. This is a guy that's capable of picking up new champions and learning them in a heartbeat and then carrying on them. The flexibility that this Legacy roster now has with him on the lineup is just ridiculous. Well-deserved, that MVP. Back to you, Spawn.
Of course, Tally is the best player, in my opinion, on the best team. So that is an award that makes a lot of sense to me right now. And you know, the last time they beat the Chiefs in a big game, it was Tally in the top lane going absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
This must give the Chiefs nightmare because the guy is on fire.
Absolutely. He's gone from top lane to AD to top lane. And what that means, he's got mechanics, he's a smart player. I think Tally across the board very much deserving of this MVP. We can call Carbon the heart and soul of the team. He's essentially the dad. But Tally is the fist, and he's just smacking kids around.
I think for me, like, the most impressive thing about Tally is how, like, he changed roles for one, started playing carries, which made sense to me given his history as a player, performed very well on them, and then I watched him play Poppy, like, what, yesterday or something? And he's just doing crazy things and, like, being a perfect tank player for his team. I don't understand how he's this good, but Legacy are happy to have him.
Yeah, they certainly are, and that allows them to finish split 1 number 1 in the league. However, guys, that is all the time we've had for you tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into the OPL show. On behalf of myself, Patient Time, Rusty, Atlas, and our entire production crew, we'll catch you next week for the semi-finals.